Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 26th of July. The first news, that is first tribal president of India took oath. Second, private sector boost in India in the space industries. This is from the text and context page of the Hindu. Third is SC Collegium recommend for the High Court judges. Fourth, Myanmar execute political prisoners. And the last is an editorial ASA for the elderly. So apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. So starting with the first news of the day, that is the first tribal president of India took oath. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2, that is Parliament and State Legislature, structure, function, conduct, businesses, privileges and issues arising from it. So recently, Draupadi Murmu took oath as the 15th President of India. This number is important. It is relevant for many other competitive examination also, right? So has become the first tribal, basically community person who has been sworn as the highest office. And she is the second woman. Before that, Pratibha Patil was the women President of India. Now, she is the first president to be born in free India. Again, a point to be noted. Not specifically for the UPSC prelims examination और किसी दूसरे examination में इस तरह के factual information important होंगे आपके लिए. Now about the political career of Draupadi Murmu. She was born in a Santhal tribe community. This is an important point to take a note of, that she belonged to this particular tribal group, right? And Murmu was a school teacher. She has also worked with as a school teacher and government clerk before joining the political organization, right? So this is a brief background about her. And talking about the other political position that she has held, she has become the vice chairman of Odisha Rai Rangpur Nagar Panchayat, and she was MLA from Rai Rangpur between 2000 to 2009, right? And she also held ministerial responsibility in Odisha government. So she started her career in Odisha itself. She hails from Odisha, and she has also held some ministerial responsibility there. From 2015 to 2021, she was a governor of Jharkhand. So this is a brief about her, about the political careers. Now about the President of India. See, basically, this is a constitutional post, and President of India is a head of the state. I think most of you must be aware of this basic facts. And he or she is the first citizen of the country acting on the advice of the Council of the Minister. I think these are the basics that you must have read in the Lakshmikant book. Now, according to the Article 60 of the Constitution, the primary duty of President is to uphold, defend, preserve the Indian Constitution. Now, the president is being appointed by the Chief Justice of India and other judges on the advice of the Chief Justice, right? So, appointment जो है Chief Justice के वो president करते हैं, and even oath की अगर बात करें, जो president को oath है वो CGI ये दिलवाते हैं. So, these are some of the basic facts you must know. Now, moving ahead, the President of India is elected by the elected representative of the Parliament, right, and the state legislature. And the Electoral College elects the President of India and represent the member in a proportionate. The term of the President is basically 5 years. This is again a basic that you must know. And no law can impeach a President of India without the President. Basically, अगर बात करें impeachment की, तो impeachment का अलग process है. किसी भी law के implementations की अगर बात करें, it has to be approved by the President assent. जब तक कोई bill, basically if any bill that has not been signed by President, it cannot become an act. So act बनने के लिए, किसी भी चीज को act बनने के लिए जरूरी है कि President उसकी approval दे, उस पर signature करे. These are the list of the President of India from first, that is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. You can see all lists are there. The first women president of India was Pratibha Patil. She was the 12th president of India, and now the 15th president, that is Draupadi Murmu, as like second women president, first tribal president of India. Now the other news, that is private sector boost in India's space industries. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 3. That is achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology and development of new technology. So recently, the principal scientific advisor of Government of India have stated that the government would soon come up with the new space policy that would initiate the rise of SpaceX, right? इंडिया में जो SpaceX है उसकी वेंचर्स को स्टार्ट की जाएगी. जिस तरह से SpaceX एलोन मस्क की कंपनी है, यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट द नेम ऑफ एलोन मस्क, राइट? ही हैज इट्स ओन कंपनी कॉल्ड SpaceX. उसी तर्ज पे इंडिया भी अपने बेसिकली SpaceX के इनिशिएटिव्स को बनाएगी. Now, the principal secretary advisor has said that the proposal to move to increase the private sector participation is crucial for this industry. But again, there's a big question that why the private player is being encouraged to come to the space sector, which is considered to be the security concern, and the reason being the private players were not allowed. Now, the consultations have already been in place with the final versions of policy that would soon refer to the empowered technological group, which would be looked into the further examination, and this will call for, after approval, this will call for the triple P participation, जहाँ पे public private partnership के साथ काम की जाएगी space sectors में. Now, according to the principal scientific advisor, India has not tapped into complete potential of this sector. Still, we have to come up with all the full potential that this sector can give us. Now, importance of development in the space sector, अगर बात करें enhancing space technology, this would be beneficial to bolsters the connectivity के ख्याल से काफ़ी important होगी, and even to combat the climate change related implications and secure more effective means to ensure that इस sector में जो potential है उसके benefits सारे aspects, stakeholders and even for all the entities that should be benefited, the potential जो है वो पूरी तरह से tap out होनी चाहिए. Now, satellite provide more accurate and long information on weather forecast and long trend in the climate habitability and the region. So these are some of the important development in the space sector. इसके अलावा कुछ और important points की अगर बात करें, additionally they can serve as a real-time monitoring of the early warning solutions such as earthquake, जितने भी natural disasters हैं, tsunami, floods, these are the fire, mining, real-time tracking can also be the purpose in the defense. Now, as far the connectivity is concerned, the satellite connectivity can reach to the remote area. Conventional networks may be help करेंगे, and even it can help to complete the infrastructure development that is essentially required. Now, India stand in the global space market as per the space techs analyst. इन्होंने कुछ अपनी findings दी है, which says that India is the sixth largest player in the industries. India की क्या position? India की positions हैं sixth in the world, right? And internationally जो percentage contribute करती है, this is close to 3.6% in the world space company. India की जो total budget allocations की गई थी by the Department of Space, this is valued around 13,700 crore rupees, and US hold the leader spot, which is housing close to 56.4% for all companies in the space tech ecosystem. Now, other major players की अगर बात करें apart from United States, it is followed by the UK. उसके बाद नंबर आती है कनाडा की, Canada followed by China and even Germany. So these are some of the important countries that are the part of the global players. Now, India की जो space industries है, that is valued around 7 billion. This is the value, and in 2019 aspired to grow by 50 billion by 2024. And US and Canada were the highest receiver of the space related investment in 2021. Now, private sector involvement की बात करेगा और उसकी regulations की, in June 2020 actually, the Union government has announced a reform in the space sector that call for and provide for end-to-end services. This end-to-end services again will help to revamp the entire space sectors. Now, announcement for the establishment of India Space, जिसको in space भी कहते हैं, Indian Space Promotion and Authorization Centers की बात की गई है. And even ISRO, जो ISRO हमारी organization है, parent organization, It has an expertise in the matter pertaining to the quality. If you talk about the quality, another protocols, procedures, quality check, this is something which is concerned with the ISRO. तो जितने भी रिलायबिलिटी प्रोटोकॉल्स है, डॉक्यूमेंटेशंस है, टेस्टिंग है, ये सारी जो इन स्पेस है, इंटरफेस की मैकेनिज्म है, वो इसरो की जिम्मेवारी है, एंड दे विल बी गिविंग इट अ फाइनल शेप, राइट. Now moving ahead, that is additionally constituted in March 2019, जो new space है, new space India has been involved in mandating to transfer the mature technology developed by ISRO to the Indian industry. So this has already been started, and all of them are under the purview of Ministry of Defense. This is a factual point that you have to note, that this is under the Ministry of Defense. Now, private sector involvement in the space sector is believed to spur the investment. खास करके इन्वेस्टमेंट की अगर बात करेगा, ट्रिपल पी मॉडल पे काम होगी, तो ट्रिपल पी मॉडल है वो हेल्प करेगी इन्वेस्टमेंट को बूस्ट करने में, और जो स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट टेक्नोलॉजी है वो भी आएगी. नाउ द सेंट्रल आइडिया ऑफ दिस वाज दैट टू ब्रिंग predictable policy, regulate environment, and also provide an additional access to ISRO facilities, जहाँ पे improve करने जो कैपेसिटी है, कैपेबिलिटीज है, उनको improve करने की कोशिश की जाएगी. Now, Supreme Court Collegium recommendations for the HC judges. This is important for General Studies Paper 2 under the topic Structure, Organization and Function of Executive and Judiciary. So, in a significant step to fill the higher judiciary vacancy, Supreme Court की जो collegium है, collegium is a body that has a duty to basically shortlist the judges name. This collegium is headed by Chief Justice of India, जो CGI होते हैं इंडिया में, that head the entire collegium system. तो CGI head करते हैं, and they have approved the recommendations to the center, जहाँ पे 20 advocates or 15 judicial officers, these are the numbers that will be that has been given for the 6th High Court appointment. Now, collegium की अगर बात करें, collegium approved the proposals for the elevations of the maximum 13 advocates and the judges in Punjab, Haryana High Court, followed by the elevation of 6 advocate to the Telangana High Court. This numbers is not important. आपको collegium के जो basic structure है, functioning है, और जो constitutional provisions है, वो पता होने चाहिए. Now, what is the constitutional provision in this regard? If you look into the brief, so Article 124 जो है, वो appointment of SC judges के बारे में बात करती है. Appointment of SC judges should be made by President after the consultation of the judges. Right? तो judges के consultation के बाद की जाती है of the High Court and Supreme Court as President deemed necessary. So this is an optional clause. And CGI of India, CGI is to be constituted, इनको consult करना mandatory है. This is mandatory, और President को जो judges के साथ जो उनकी कंसल्टेशन है वो ऑप्शनल है. तो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द मैंडेटरी एंड ऑप्शनल. इन ऑल अपॉइंटमेंट एक्सपेक्ट हिज ओन, जब उनकी खुद की अपॉइंटमेंट होती है उसमें तो कंसल्ट करना बिट ऑब्वियस नहीं होगी. बाकी और जितने भी जजेस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के, हाई कोर्ट के जजेस अपॉइंट होते हैं, उसमें सीजीआई की कंसल्टेशन को मैंडेटरी माना जाता है. नाउ अदर प्रोविजन इज आर्टिकल 217. The SC judges should be appointed by the president after the consultation with the CJ and the governor of the state. So these are some of the important constitutional provision with regards to the appointment of the judges in High Court. Now the CGI, that is the Chief Justice of India, or we will say the Chief Justice of High Court, concerned to should be that he should also be consulted. So these are some of the constitutional provision with regard to the appointment. Now Myanmar execute political prisoner. This is in the history that they have come up with such execution process. This is something important for General Studies Paper 2 precisely, that is effect of policies and politics for developed and developing countries. So Myanmar government has recently conferred that it has carried out the first executions in nearly 50 years. ये ऐसा पहली बार हुआ है जब 50 सालों में इस तरह से किसी hanging a lawmaker and the democracy activist and other political prisoners were there. Some of them were activists and even one was the former member of parliament. They have been accused of targeting and killing of the country's military takeover for the last year. They have been accused of doing so, and the reason being finally वहाँ पे जो military है उन्होंने उनको execute किया. The execution was first announced in the state Mirror Daily, जो वहाँ के newspaper and media reports में announce की गई. Despite the worldwide plea in the preliminary of the 4 men, total number of people who were executed as a part of it was 4, right? Including the United Nations expert and the Cambodia has hold rotationary chairmanship in the association ऑफ द साउथ एशियन नेशन। तो ये ऐसे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स हैं जिनको ग्लोबल ऑर्डर पे भी डिस्टर्बेंस में माना जा रहा है, एंड इवन बेसिकली ग्लोबल रिस्पॉन्स ने इसको कंडेम किया है, इस तरह के एफर्ट्स को। Now, what is the global condemnation? से अगर बात करें, execution has sparked a widespread condemnations, highlighted the fear that this can even result to more death in the row. इस तरह की प्रोसेस रिपीट हो सकती है, इसको रोकने की जरूरत है। And even the UN Secretary General he said that a strong condemn for the execution was marked, and further deteriorations of human right environment is there in the Myanmar. So he has highlighted the urgency and concern about the basically action that has been taken by the Myanmar military. Now the execution has drawn the immediate condemnations by the US, and even the execution of the pro-democracy leaders and elected officials for exercising the fundamental freedom. So US has also raised concern that this is something not under the spirit of the democratic rights and values. The Secretary General has reiterated his call for the immediate release of the arbitrary detention, जिनको रखा गया है उनको रिलीज करने की बात की गई है। अगर वो रहते हैं तो उनके साथ भी कुछ इस तरह के एग्जीक्यूशन प्रोसेस कर सकती है, राइट। तो अभी प्रेजेंट में वहाँ के जो प्रेसिडेंट है फॉर्मर, दैट इज वेन मिंट, एंड स्टेट काउंसलर आंग सान सू की, ये दीज आर द अदर इंपॉर्टेंट लीडर्स फ्रॉम द म्यांमार। Now, the European Union, Australia, Japan, and New Zealand, even the United Kingdom and United States, has issued a joint statement condemning the execution process. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, that is ASA for the elderly. This is something important for General Studies paper 2. That is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the states. So what is important under the issue? Basically, there are three important subheads that I'll be discussing with you. First is the background, followed by the big question, and then the ASA's work contribution. अगर पूरे editorial के focus की बात करें, the entire editorial focuses upon the community health work. Now, recently, United Nations ने World Population Prospects की जो रिपोर्ट है वो पब्लिश की है, एंड दिस हैज गिवन एन अटेंशन। ये जो रिपोर्ट पब्लिश हुई है वो वर्ल्ड में पूरी तरह से अटेंशन लेकर गई है, जहाँ पे ये बताया गया है दैट इंडिया विल बी सरपासिंग चाइना को हम सरपास कर लेंगे, एंड इवन बिकमिंग द मोस्ट पॉपुलस कंट्री। तो जब मोस्ट पॉपुलस कंट्री बनने के बाद क्या क्या ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स है स्पेसिफिकली हेल्थ सेक्टर और एम्प्लॉयमेंट को लेकर के, उसके बारे में कुछ जिक्र है इसमें। नाउ अमंग द most important perspective, we'll have to discuss the concern about the phase of jobless growth. India is witnessing the high jobless growth. पिछले 45 सालों में इंडिया में इस तरह की जो हाईएस्ट जो जॉबलेस ग्रोथ है वो देखी गई है, राइट। एंड द रिपोर्ट हैज आल्सो हाईलाइटेड द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ इन्वेंटिंग द वुमेन एजुकेशन इन देयर रिप्रोडक्टिव राइट। सो इट इज़ वेरी एसेंशियली इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट वुमेन्स पर से जिस तरह के मास पॉपुलेशन थे, एंड इवन द हेल्थ केयर पर से has to be in such alignment that इसकी potential benefits सारे हमारे citizen को मिल पाए। Now moving ahead, the big questions. Basically, what is the big question? The first important question is the population projection. क्या country prepare है इस तरह के exponential increase के साथ? जो प्रॉब्लम्स होंगी खास करके अगर लंबे समय में बात करें, जो एज ग्रुप जो बढ़ने वाली है उनके साथ डिमेंशिया की प्रॉब्लम होती है। डिमेंशिया एज अ स्टेज जहाँ पे मेमोरी लॉस होती है, एंड बेसिकली अपने प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग एबिलिटीज़ हैं, द रिकॉग्निशन पावर इज कम्प्लीटली लॉस इन डे टू डे लाइफ, राइट। इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ अल्जाइमर। अल्जाइमर की अगर बात करें तो अल्जाइमर डिमेंशिया के अंदर ही आती है, एंड देयर इज नो कम्प्रिहेंसिव कम्युनिटी बेस्ड ऑन द सिस्टम इन एडर्लीज। तो ये कुछ बड़े सवाल है कि पॉपुलेशन बढ़ रही है तो कुछ ऐसे टारगेटेड एज ग्रुप हैं जिनके बारे में हमें ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है, राइट। एंड द फैमिलीज लाइक हैव to make their own arrangement through out of the pocket payment if it is required. So medical expenses की अगर बात करें इंडिया में, that is also high. So how government is going to overcome? What is the government road map in this regard? तो गवर्नमेंट की क्या विजन्स हैं उसके बारे में इस एडिटोरियल में कंसर्न रेज की गई। Now moving ahead, like about something important is the ASA workers contribution. One of the India's singular contributions to the population has been from the frontline worker. They have delivered even some of the commendable work was done by them. They have done a great contribution to the society. और recent में जो आशा वर्कर है, that is accreditations for social and health activists, they have been singularly responsible for reduction in the maternity mortality rate, चाहे वो infant mortality rate हो। Basically I'm talking about IMR, right? IMR या infant mortality rate हो या MMR, right? So in these the contribution is significant, right? And they have also deserved the award. WHO ने इनको award भी दिया हुआ है. Global Health Leaders Award was also there. But again, award is not only going to work. Government has to also ensure that they are working for the betterment of ASA worker, because these are the workers, they are working day and night in the ground level, and they are helping to augment the entire process of the healthcare sector. Now, ASA program is templated for building the community based on the workforce. They have anchored for a large growth network, and even for the healthcare and wellness sector country. यहाँ पे आशा वर्कर की जो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस हैं, खास करके एल्डरलीज वुमेन्स को लेकर के, वो काफ़ी हाई. Now, the government must leverage the community resources to address the complex problem and present a unique opportunity for the futures, both elderly and the young people, right? So, it is inevitable that इनके जो contributions हैं उनको recognize करना, और potentially उनके उस society में जिस तरह की जो वो result oriented काम कर रहे हैं उनको भी उसी तरह से वापस recognition मिलने की ज़रूरत है. Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question also, the correct option is C. Now, today's MCQ for practice. आपको बताना है ब्यूरो ऑफ एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी के बारे में. ब्यूरो ऑफ एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी is a statutory body under the Ministry of Power, which was set up in 2000 under the provision of Energy Conservation Act 2001, and it is mandated to implement the policy in the area of efficiency and energy efficiency and the conservation. So these are the two statements that you have to consider. Second is Malabar exercise. It is an annual trilateral never exercise between India, Japan, and United States of America. The exercise is held alternatively in the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So do check it out for the correct option. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.